We're going to talk about Ghost in the Shell. It is an anime that is well known and is quite possibly my favorite anime of all time, and is being adapted into a motion picture. That's right, kids, get your tickets today. Not really, it's still in production. And in this production, the lead character of Major Kusanagi, am I pronouncing that right? I don't want to. Yeah, Kusanagi. Yeah, Major Kusanagi is just going to be called The Major and will be portrayed by Scarlett Johansson. Yes, that beautiful white lily that we all know and love as Black Widow. Isn't that all an ironic sentence? So there was a lot of controversy when this was first announced, and which was 3 months ago, about her being in the role and the production starting up. And now the producer of the film, by the name of, drumroll, not really, Stephen Paul, has been coming up and told SourceFed in an interview, quote, "I think everybody is going to end up being really happy with it. They're going to be very, very happy with it when they see we've actually done with it, and I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed," unquote. Wow, what a great quote to give 3 months later after the fact. And he also follows that by saying that, quote, actually, no quote on that, but that this is going to be a more international story as the original anime was. Because in case you didn't know, Ghost in the Shell takes place in the future and is about a group of, government detectives in Japan made of predominantly Japanese people working on cases in Japan. So it's very international, specifically in Japan. So I see where he's completely getting this international approach from. But granted, what a lot of people have been saying is that this is a classic case of whitewashing, where you take a predominantly and popularly known minority character and cast an actor of European or English or a white guy and or white girl. And essentially, this is a tricky situation. I think actually people shouldn't be as up in arms about it. A big complaint we have, like when we were talking about in our earlier topic, is bringing over Asian and Japanese culture into America and making it popular and embracing it. And Ghost in the Shell is such a big and popular and amazing series, and bringing this over in a movie format is great. But the thing is, the IP of Ghost in the Shell isn't that well known, and isn't like, oh, everybody, like some guy in Kentucky who owns a coffee shop is probably not going to know about Major Kusanagi trying to go, soul surfing. So essentially, what needs to happen with films like this is you need to put on talent. You need to put on names that are going to draw in people. Right. And Scarlett Johansson, with her fine self, is the highest grossing actress in the box office right now out of any actress, in history. And so she is literally the biggest female name they could have gotten besides Jennifer Staleboard Lawrence. And I really think that they made a good choice with casting Scarlett Johansson. She is an amazing, competent actress, and we need her to bring this story to life. And apparently they really believe that the story they have for this film is really good. So I say give it a chance. And whitewashing is a double-edged sword, because in certain cases you need it to get the film off the ground, because that's just the way our industry works. And at the same time, it's bad because, there's probably an amazing Asian actress who missed out on the role of a lifetime.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword, but it's important for everyone to know that if you don't like the way the system is, it's your fault, because not enough people.
You buy the tickets.
You're buying the tickets, and you're not showing the market with your money that we want more foreign films. We want more foreign IPs. We want to bring over different things. You're not going to go see Ghost in the Shell, the animated movie, when it comes to theaters. You're not doing the right things. You're not supporting foreign films. So I'm not saying that's everybody. That's not everybody. But as a collective, if we want change, we have to work together to see a change in that industry. Because the movie industry is just doing what's profitable for them.
Right. I think it's important to not every case of these international IPs having the white actors. Not every case is the same. I think there is that recent subpar movie like Gods of Egypt. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, where everyone was white and it was in Egypt.
Same thing with Exodus: Gods Among Us. Moses was played by Christian Bale.
If the movie had been good, then maybe it'd be a little more justifiable. But from my understanding, the movie was as average as it gets in terms of. I mean, it was like Gladiator, and everything since then has kind of seemed like Gladiator in a way. But I mean, what you just talked about, just because they changed from the Japanese protagonist to Scarlett Johansson, it's not because they didn't want a Japanese actress. It's because this is an IP they're trying to build in a new market, and the best way to do that is to get recognizable talent. Scarlett Johansson is very recognizable. Very recognizable.
For miles
for various reasons. And I think with cases like this, where it is genuine, and I'm not saying that it doesn't happen where they cast white people just because it appeals to more people, because white people are the majority, percentage-wise, there's more chance of them seeing it, blah, blah, blah. I think in cases of this where there's a genuine, valid reason to replace the nationality of the character in this already built narrative with someone of a different background, it's important to realize that it's not. I don't think it's malicious. I think people think there's malice behind it when they're making these decisions, when it does seem like it's just genuine business. And if anything, it's only going to benefit Ghost in the Shell fans, because if this movie does well with Scarlett Johansson, then that's the possibility of a TV show or an animated film entering the theaters where it goes back to that Japanese character. And people, when you're adopting these IPs, the new markets, you've got to give and take. You've got to give and take. You're not gonna get a perfect adaptation. It's not gonna happen, because there's facets of Japanese culture that are strange to American culture, and the same back and forth. In order to adopt this so that the American market wants to watch it, you got to change some things. And if that means making a recognizable, famous actress that everyone in America knows being the star, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And another thing, not to get too nerdy about it, but Meiji Kusanagi, she's a cyborg. Her consciousness is transported into different bodies. So really, the race of her body doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, it's just about her consciousness. But that's just me getting super nerdy.
Right. Anywho, and then I think, something else I want to bring up. This isn't... Sometimes when these racial issues come up, people's... they use the argument, well, what if it was a white person? What if it was a black person? Blah, blah, blah. And that takes away from the core of the argument. But I think in this case, if they had changed the Japanese actress to a black actress, would it have been an issue? And I don't think it would be. If it was a recognizable black actress, I think it's the same as having Scarlett Johansson do it. If you had a black actress, as long as she's going to do the role well, and if she's going to make fans of the story proud, it really doesn't matter.
And we did have that backlash of casting a known white character black with the latest Fant 4 stick, as I like to call it, because that's the way the logo said. But Fantastic Four, with that film, they casted the Human Torch as Michael B. Jordan, a black actor.
Right.
And the internet lost their minds, as it does. But he is a terrific actor. My God, have you seen Creed?
He's great.
So I think he did a great job in the role, but the movie was just garbage, literally. Like, I looked in the trash and I saw a copy of the film.
I don't see many movies. But my girlfriend and I went to a drive-in, and that happened to be the movie they were showing. Oh my God. That was bad. That was so bad. And I don't know anything about Fantastic Four. I recognize the characters. I knew their powers. And if this was my first experience with Fantastic Four, and I don't want another, that was bad. That was a
so
terrible
bad.
movie.
Oh my god.
If I
They had,
remember, if I remember
yeah.
correctly, the final battle with the enemy was about 5 or 10 minutes,
Yep.
and it just kind of
Yeah, it just kind of happened.
yeah. It was
They're
like,
like, we
oh,
gotta use all of our powers at the same
right.
time.
I was like, oh wait, they're fighting him now. Oh, he's dead. Oh.
So that's how that movie went. But yeah, guys, you know, race happens. I don't really know how else to sum that up, but essentially, yeah, guys, it's whitewashing. It's a double-edged sword. If you wanted to change, well, you got to go out and support those different genres.
Yeah.
You got to support the content from overseas.
And something I kind of thought of yesterday, and we've had a lot of racially relevant issues in this episode because there have been recent events that really do make you address racism. And I think a big issue is that a lot of people, for two reasons, people don't want to admit that racism is an issue in America. One, they assume that if you say racism exists, it's implying guilt, that they have been racist, and there's some hope that comes out of that because that means people still know it's bad to be racist. They don't want to be labeled a racist. And the second reason is probably they're just embarrassed that their country still suffers from this problem, and they don't want to admit it because it's you think this would not be an issue by now, It's just one of those things that would just die out with generations.
You'd think, but I don't know. To me, it's a mentality that
Yeah,
is passed down.
it just exactly.
And that is part of the issue as well. And the breeding of hatred on the internet, and just how easily an instant vitriol can come out of somebody is disturbing.
Yeah.
And I think we've forgotten that line between reality and the virtual world that we've constructed for ourselves. I think we've forgotten the line between our viewpoints and sharing them with people
Right.
in a constructive way. And then the line between this is the internet, I can say what I want. It's the First Amendment right to say what I want. So, yeah, I think we've really blurred the line between what is sharing your opinion and what's being inconsiderate. And yeah, you have the right to be that way, but we also have the right to tell you to shut the F up. So it's both ways. I just think as a people, we need to be more conscious, and we need to be not necessarily as reactionary. And that's for everything. When it comes to the way we react to a black character in a comic book, to the way we react to when we see a video of a shooting. I think we need to do our research. We need to analyze what is happening, what has happened, and formulate an honest opinion and not get too carried away.
Right.
And stay focused and try to stay positive as much as we can, as hard as
Definitely.
it is.
It's hard to have a intelligent discussion about issues when you're nitpicking issues that don't really matter. Changing a Japanese character to Scarlett Johansson. I don't think that is an example of racism. I think
No.
you need to focus on legitimate cases because that is what solving those issues is what will solve the problem as a whole. Nitpicking these issues when it comes to movies and comic books, I think it's kind of taken away from the core of the argument.
Completely agree.